Okay, now this question gets brought up all the time, and it just got brought up yesterday in the Twitter chat I did. Does your education help you in your entrepreneurial career, or do you need a formal college education in your entrepreneurial career? Well, obviously you don't, right? You have a ton of guys out there, most notably your Steve Jobs or your Bill Gates or your Mark Zuckerbergs that didn't go to college. But that's the minority. So I want to make this really clear for entrepreneurs and startups because it was made really clear to me at a really young age, and it definitely helped me. So I have a business degree from the University of Connecticut in finance. I also have a law degree from the John Marshall Law School in Chicago. And hell yeah, it helped, man. Are you kidding me, man? If I had to pay a lawyer for everything that I know now, I'd be upwards of probably what it cost me to go to law school. So it's break even just there, right? Let's just start there. From everything that I learned in finance school and law school, if I had to pay someone to write all my business plans, to give me all the legal advice that I got, it'd probably be upwards of the price that I paid to go to school. That's one, right? If you are going to go to school, which I do recommend, I recommend everybody go to school or go to college. Try not to get into debt, right? I'm not saying that you need a $200,000 debt. You can go to a community college. I went to community college before. I went to UConn, um, and do it in a cost-effective manner. But then on top of what I've learned, the network that I made, the team members, the co-founders that I managed to get on board with some of my ventures, it would have cost me an arm and a leg. Go call an attorney. Right? I want you to call an attorney. If you're an entrepreneur startup, go call an attorney and try to get him on your board of directors. I have a list of probably 30 ladies and gentlemen that would sit on my board of directors that have law degrees, right? So on top of what I saved in going to school, that was another bump up, right? The founders, the pool of founders or co-founders or potential partners that I have, the class of them, I mean, went from here to here, right? Way up here. And generally, they trust in what I'm saying and believe in what I'm saying and understand in what I'm saying because one, because they're highly educated, and two, because they know that I'm highly educated, right? They know that I've gotten some kind of background. Now, school is useless if you don't apply it. Sounds like a very simple message, right? But I'll give you an example. I was in school and I remember somebody, in finance school and in law school. This is twice this happened to me. I had somebody sit next to me, and in finance school we were learning about options, and the teacher was basically telling us how with $1,000 we could make, anywhere between 30 and 50,000. The person next to me was telling me, "Oh, I need this for the exam," and I'm thinking, "You need this for the exam? They just told you how to make a year's paycheck with $1,000 investment, right?" So applying what you learned is more valuable than just learning it, right? And going and getting a job with that. Not that there's anything wrong with getting a job. There's a lot of what they call intrapreneurs, right? Guys that want to move up the corporate ladder, which is awesome if that's for you. Law school, same thing. I was in class and the professors here talking about private placements and IPOs and how to structure these deals. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is something that could easily bring your company from, a small valuation to a multi-million billion dollar valuation. And the person next to me is worried about the exam, right? Apply the things you learn. But in short, yeah, education is absolutely worth it. And don't stop learning after you graduate. A lot of people with degrees, if you have a degree and you haven't read a book since you graduated, you played yourself, man. You're insane, right? I love audibles and listen to audibles. If you ever look at the curriculum of a 4-year education, it's basically one book per class. If you want to get an A, right? When I was in my last semester at UConn, my last 2 semesters at UConn, I really wanted to get into law school. So I got straight A's. And to get straight A's, you basically had to read the textbook, right? And every class has one textbook. So think of it this way. In 1 year, one school year, you take 10 classes. So that's 10 books you have to read. So for a 4-year degree, you need 40 books, okay? 40 books. 40 books equals basically a bachelor's degree. I listen to audibles. It's the books that they're on audio, and you can listen to them while you're driving or walking or jogging or whatever it is. And I found that in a 2-month period, anywhere from 2 to 3 months, I can listen to 40 books. What does that mean? That means I can basically get a bachelor's degree in any topic in 3 months. right? Now, I dare someone to comment below or send me a message that says I'm wrong, right? Because I know from the education that I've gotten after business school and after law school from listening to books that it'll take you leaps and bounds. So if you're not the school guy, you got to learn, right? Education is fundamental. Education is fundamental to your success. It doesn't mean that you need a degree, but many people out here are just not disciplined enough to teach themselves, right? And myself included. I do read and I continue to learn, but if you want to sit me down and say, hey, learn this topic in the next 4 years and really understand it, it's going to be hard for me to go through everything. And I don't know where to look, right? The professors that were in my school, I mean, graduated from Wharton, graduated from Harvard, graduated from Yale, right? These are people that you want to get next to and you want to learn from. You want to learn from the best. So don't take the misnomer that education isn't necessary. And as a final point, I'm going to ask you to look up the self-made billionaires list, right? And on top of that list, I want you to look up the list of Fortune 500 CEOs, okay? Now, all the headlines are going to tell you, you're going to read all these headlines, especially in tech and especially in social media, and especially just in the entrepreneur world. They're going to grab these sound bites. Mark Zuckerberg, dropped out. Bill Gates dropped out. Steve Gates. That's the 1%, man. That's the 1%. Play your odds. If you go to the casino and you see a game that's 1% and you see another game that's got 60% odds, which one are you going to put your dollar on? I hope you didn't say 1%, my man, my ladies. Yeah, that'd be insane, right? So play the odds. Play the odds, right? You have a higher likelihood of success with getting your degree. And some people say, oh, it's a great backup. I don't think it's a backup. I have been employed by major corporations, but after I graduated law school, I've been an entrepreneur, right? I started my own business. I have my consulting firm, my e-commerce firm, my real estate holding company, all things that I couldn't have done without applying the things that I learned in school. So I absolutely think that it's necessary that you get your education. So if I'm talking to any future leaders of the world out there, anybody listening and wondering, should I go to school? Should I start this business? Go to school, right? You can do both. I started my businesses in school. I do think you should take a little time off. A lot of people say it's scary because you might not go back. But if you have the opportunity, take a year off, understand what you want to go for, and then really go and learn that stuff and apply it when you get out. But the short answer is you absolutely need an education. So whether it's formal or not formal, you want to stay getting educated. And if you've already gotten educated, that's not where it stops. And if it does stop, then you're going to stop. Your progression is going to stop. So I hope this was helpful. This question comes up all the time. Do I really need it? Oh, I had Steve Jobs and Bill Gates didn't go to school. And that's the 1%, man. 99% of the other multimillionaires went to school. Play the odds, man.